is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. BPL lost $7 million in a land deal. The energy minister blames the F&M, but Pintard says the deal ended under the PLP as Prime Minister Davis defends recent deals. And a new bill will promote healthier lifestyles. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, March 27th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be here filling in for Laverne Gardner. Also this morning, our monthly Better You series. Today we're talking about communicating and navigating difficult conversations and topics. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Energy Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis revealing in Parliament that BPL lost $7 million in a land deal and claimed the F&M was to blame. But opposition leader Michael Pintard telling the House the deal in fact ended under the PLP administration and accused the minister of being misleading. Pintard saying the land deal officially ended on December 31st, 2021 during the PLP's time in office. He was speaking during the afternoon sitting of Parliament yesterday. He said, quote, the PLP might wish to explain it to the public. I will not say anything more, just wait to hear what they have to say. During the morning session, Colby-Davis said the Minister administration entered into a $14 million deal for the purchase of land as part of its energy reform plan. She said the government lost $7 million and never got the land. But Pintard said the deal was live when the F&M lost the government in September 21. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Philip Davis defending the government's deal with Shell and Focal for the development of a liquefied natural gas terminal. Davis said the deal and the government's as-yet finalized deal with Pike are in the best interest of the Bahamian people. He said the Bahamian people will see the benefit of these deals in due course. Prime Minister Davis also tabling regulations in the House, which he said will drive meaningful progress towards the country's goals of slashing greenhouse gas emissions by 30% and achieving 30% renewable energy by 2030. The Emissions Reduction Initiative and incentives regulations will be the first set of rules to be enacted under the Climate Change and Carbon Market Initiatives Act. The regulations will allow people or entities to apply for emission reductions incentives and allow the government to determine meeting its emission reduction targets. The regulations will also ensure that data compiled in the National Emissions Registry will be shared with the public. He said his administration has pursued a comprehensive agenda to adapt to climate change in ways that enhance resilience, expand opportunities for Bahamians, and preserve the country's natural environment. Also from the House, as he tabled the Health and Promotion of Wellness Bill 2025, Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville said the legislation is intended to help save lives by promoting healthier lifestyles and reducing the incidence of non-communicable diseases in the country. Darville said the health system is strained by the high rate of non brought on by largely lifestyle choices. And a man accused of murder withdrew an appeal against a decision to refuse him bail. Last month, Justice Neil Brathwaite refused bail to 32-year-old Billy Martin to preserve public order. Martin has been in custody for 2 years, awaiting trial for the January 17, 2023 murder of Dominique Berry. Berry was driving along Infant View Road when a car cut him off. A man alleged to be Martin emerged from that car and fired a barrage of shots at Berry, killing him on the scene. Martin's trial scheduled for 2026. And a Marine charged with indecently assaulting 2 teenage girls at the Royal Bahamas Defense Force base. Marine seaman 22-year-old DiMaggio Barrett is accused of touching the 17-year-old girls inappropriately on March 19th. The alleged victims were at the base as part of the National Youth Guard program. Barrett denied the allegations at his arraignment before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogue Evans. Barrett was granted $9,000 bail for each case. The prosecutor, Inspector Santiano Coakley, requested that Barrett be fitted with an electronic monitoring device. As part of his bail conditions, he will wear that ankle bracelet and sign in at a police station. His trial is scheduled to begin on April 24th. Overseas, a new American airstrike campaign against Yemen's Houthi rebels appears more intense and more from solely targeting launch sites to firing at ranking personnel, as well as dropping bombs in city neighborhoods. The pattern under U.S. President Donald Trump reflects a departure from the Biden administration, which limited its strikes as Arab allies try to reach a separate peace with the group. It comes after the Iran-backed Houthis threatened to resume attacking any Israeli vessel over the country's refusal to allow aid into the Gaza Strip. The Houthis' attacks and the response to them have drawn new scrutiny in Washington after security officials in Trump's administration shared plans for the first round of strikes on the rebels in a group chat that included a journalist. But bombing alone may not be enough to stop the Houthis, whose earlier barrage of missile fire toward the U.S. Navy represented the most intense combat it has seen since World War II. And South Sudan's main opposition party says its leader, Riek Machar, has been arrested as the UN called on all parties to uphold the 2018 agreement that ended the country's civil war. The UN had warned on Monday that the country was teetering on the edge of a renewed civil war after fighting in the north between an armed group allied with Machar and government forces. Machar was in confinement by the government, and his life was at risk, according to an opposition spokesman. The head of the UN mission in South Sudan said following reports of the detention of Machar, all parties should exercise restraint and uphold the agreement. In sports, the fastest woman to ever run the women's 60 meters hurdles is back on home soil here in the Bahamas as she, along with 2 other members of Team Bahamas, were greeted to a warm reception staged by the B3A's, the Bahamas Association of Athletic Associations, at the Cricket Club on Wednesday. Devon Charlton, returning as a 2-time world indoor champion in the women's 60-meter hurdles, just the 3rd woman in history to ever accomplish that feat. The world record holder in that event clocked a season's best time of 7.72 seconds at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in China on Sunday, successfully defending her title among the world's best sprint hurdlers. Read more. And it was a bittersweet occurrence at the 2025 World Masters Athletics World Indoor Championships in Gainesville, Florida. On Wednesday, one athlete moved on while another was disqualified from Team Bahamas. World record holder in the men's 55 to 59 age group 400 meters, Timothy Munnings, was disqualified in the 200 meters for an apparent lane infraction. Munnings, a former Olympic relay bronze medalist and World Championships relay gold medalist, was one of the event's favorites, having won bronze at the World Masters Outdoors in Sweden last year. Munnings crossed the finish line in first place in his heat in 24.98 seconds, but was later disqualified. Munnings still has the 400 meters later in the meet and will still be looking to make amends. Munnings won the World Masters Outdoors title in the 400 meters last year and set a new world best of 51.18 seconds this year. He goes in the event with the fastest time. Meanwhile, Brian Humblestone is moving on to the final in the men's 85 to 89 age group, 200 meters. He was in action in the semifinals on Wednesday, booking his ticket into the final with a time of 49.39 seconds. Humblestone finished third in his heat and moves on to the final with the fifth fastest time. The final set for today, 2 in the six-man field. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got an Atlantic cold front that's going to merge with a lingering trough near the southeast Bahamas. That's going to keep showers and thunderstorms in the forecast across the southern islands for the first half of the day today. Following behind that front, an expansive high-pressure system over the southeastern United States. That's going to largely dominate weather across the Bahamas for the next few days. A strengthening wind field will form with the interaction of these two features, and that's going to allow for some gusty winds to develop beginning tonight. As a result, we've got a near gale watch coming into effect at 6 p.m. this evening for all areas. It's going to emerge off the Carolinas early Friday, and that's going to continue to affect us into the weekend, gradually shifting eastwards across the Atlantic, bringing those strong to near gale force winds into play, and that's going to bring some quick passing showers as the front weakens as well. A mid-level trough along with some lingering moisture will trigger some possible showers and thunderstorms across the northern parts of the country for the beginning of the work week next week, and warmer temperatures expected next week. More on that in a bit. But for today, we're looking at sunny conditions turning fair at night for the northern and northwest Bahamas. For the central Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds today, becoming partly cloudy tonight. And for the southeastern part of the country, partly sunny with a few cloudy intervals, becoming mostly fair tonight. We've got a less than 10% chance of showers for the northern and northwest Bahamas. It's going to increase a bit by tonight for the northwestern islands. 10 to 20% chance for the central islands, and a 10 to 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the southeast Bahamas. Look for high temperatures around 84, 85 Fahrenheit today, about 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to the upper 60s for the northernmost islands, but around 70, 71 Fahrenheit for the rest of us, about 21, 22 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. More on your extended outlook coming up in a bit. But this weather check brought to you by Star General, insurance made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not 1, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions up to be alive.
Spring into savings with BWF. March Madness Spring Clearance and Tent Sale, Saturday, March 29th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get up to 50% off. If you're spring cleaning, home improvement, gardening, barbecuing with friends and enjoying the outdoors, remodeling your kitchen or need new appliance, get hopping with BWF. Awesome savings you don't want to miss. Slash prices and great buys on appliances, power tools, generators, compressors, water pumps, hardware, lawn and garden supplies, barbecue grills, household kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, automotive supplies and accessories, craft supplies, floral decor, clearance on all toys, and much more. BWF, we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street, telephone 394-0004 or 6. Check us out on Facebook and we ship to the Family Islands.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let the masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way?
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you. Filling in for Laverne Gardner today, we've got Chester Robards. Good morning, Chester. Great to have you with us again.
Good morning. Thank you.
And, thank you for being here. And this morning we are also going to have our monthly Better You series. Today we're talking about communicating and navigating difficult conversations and topics, especially in your personal life. So that is coming up. But we've got a lot to get to right now in the news. And in the news, some interesting revelations in the House of Assembly yesterday, some interesting comments. quite a day. We'll get to some of that this morning. Let's begin with BPL. What was said about BPL? Prime Minister Davis defending BPL deals. But government ministers also taking some swipes at the FNM and the previous Minutes administration, revealing that BPL lost $7 million in a land deal. For more on this, take a listen to this report from our Vonique Toot.
Prime Minister Philip Davis defended his government's decision to sign LNG agreements with Focal Holdings Limited and Shell for the construction of a liquefied natural gas plant amid continued criticism from opposition leader Michael Pintard, and insisted he is satisfied his government's energy reform plans are in the best interest of Bahamians.
We have decided that this is what is best for the Bahamian people, and the Bahamian people will see the benefit of that in due course. This is what we decided as a government that is the best for the Bahamian people, is in the best interest of the Bahamian people. And the Bahamian people will see it and show they're feeling it now.
The agreement for the development of the terminal and other facilities is a partnership with Focal and Shell, while the LNG supply agreement is with Shell. The Marco City MP has slammed the lack of competitive bidding and called for more transparency and accountability over the awarding of contracts. However, Davis insisted the memorandum of understanding that the Minutes administration signed with Shell in 2018 for an LNG plant was a bad deal.
Let me just say, it was the FNM who started the process. And the way they had it, it was a bad deal for the Bahamian people. And we converted it. For example, Focal. They were renting generation from them. It was costing the Bahamian people up to $30 million or more, $40 million a year. That went directly to the bottom line of BPL. Right? We have converted it now to ensure to a capacity charge and what it is. No. So that's where it started, and Shell started that way. And as I said, those documents will be laid on the House at the appropriate time.
Energy Minister Jobeth Kobe Davis says Pintard has no understanding of the energy sector and made this claim about the former government.
If the FNM had looked at the entire transformation of BPL, they would have not entered into a land purchasing deal, and paid $7 million out of BPL's already cash-strapped bank book to a company who was selling land and never closed the deal. The cost was $14 million. They paid $7 million, and we got no land. The person still hold the land. They have our $7 million. The deal never closed, and this was a part of their energy reform plan.
Pintard did not respond to that claim, but challenged the governing side to LNG agreements.
What we have is at least 10 different components, most of which are run by completely different enterprises, that I do not believe that even the minister responsible for energy and the prime minister fully understands. They are being advised as they go, is my view. We should dedicate a day of debate to this issue. It is that important. It is that important for an issue. Let's discuss it, just so the Bahamian people can understand. You may know more than us, but the Bahamian people don't understand.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Toot.
Okay, Chester Robards, you are a senior business reporter for the Nassau Guardian. Have you ever heard of that story before, about the 14 million, 7 million land? You heard this before?
I have no idea what that's about.
Say that again, sorry?
I have no idea what that's about.
Why are we just learning about this? What are they? What's the deal here? And this is to make the Minutes administration look lousy. Okay, but what did she just find out about this? The Minister for Energy? This sounds like a major problem, and some heads need to roll, whether they're in the government or not, over this.
It sounds like they were sitting on that information for the right time.
What has it done? It only makes them look ridiculous.
So
I mean, the current government. I mean, what are you doing? You throw
Well,
this in 4 years later to say what?
My point is, let's say the administration ended up losing the election and didn't get to close the deal. Well, what's the deal about? Why didn't she say what it was for?
This
why
is
didn't
very
she say
bizarre.
why they didn't carry on with it? I mean, they wasn't buying land just to buy land, right?
And she's saying that people are still holding on to stuff and we haven't gotten anything yet. It's 4 years. Are you doing something? Is there a lawsuit?
Because the government hasn't gone back to them. I mean, she's saying they didn't finish the deal. So why didn't this government finish the deal? They just don't add information. They just wanted to knock them off their feet with this $7 million claim and leave us hanging.
We know the Minutes administration was lousy. That's why they lost the election. What are you doing about this? What are you going to do about it?
Okay, but the $7 million, the $14 million have nothing to do with lousiness. We don't even know what it's for.
Well, that's another.
So if they started the process in 2021 and lost the election, well, there's no wonder why it didn't finish. But why didn't the next government finish it? Or the next administration finish it? And what was it for? We just don't have the information.
And I got to tell you, Pintart's response is not giving me any. This is insane too. Well, that deal ended when you all came in. What? No, the money is lost in the land. We don't know anything is going. What's happening here? It isn't over because we lost money.
Everybody on the same footing. If Pintar didn't know about it or didn't remember about it, I don't know. But everybody's at fault for not telling us in the House of Assembly in the People's House what it was about. Joe Beth Colby just used it to poke them, right?
Perhaps they found out last week. Maybe they just learned about this, or yesterday.
Yeah, but they still have information about
it. This is crazy, and this is why people say this is all a game, right? Because, make it make sense, folks. And then you're supposed to feel better because, I mean, those folks back then were saying the deal with Shell is in the best interest of the baby people. And you're saying, no, that wasn't because this, and that this isn't the best interest. And, of course, if anything were to change, they'll come back and cancel what you did and say, no, what we're going to do is in the better interest of the baby. So we don't know what to believe. And you come back with nonsense years later and leave us hanging. And we're more confused than ever before. And it doesn't appear you're going to do anything about it. Are you going to sue? Are you going to fight this? Are you going to try to get the money back? Are you going to prosecute the people who made this bad deal? Are you going to do anything at all except for use it for fun and games in the House of Assembly? Otherwise known as the circus.
Those are the correct questions.
My gosh. Okay, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. That song, Clowns on the Left, Jokers on the Right. It's the same. This is what we're dealing with every day. What is happening? Caller, can you understand what's going on here?
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
How you doing? Good morning, Chester.
Well, we're frustrated.
Right, Dwight. Chester, are you not tired, Chester?
We're exhausted.
Long time.
52 years, 8 months, and I don't know how much days and couple hours. Dwight. More of the same. The FNM and the Progressive Liberal Party, Dwight, I now believe with Brown will say fully, are two sides of the same coin. The same coin. The only reason why Pindad making noise now after all this time is because his boy ain't get the deal for BPL and Brave undercut them. And we know from David Brave was trying to sell BPL as a bad deal. Those were seller generators years ago, Dwight, when we had the long dissertation on your station about who telling the truth and who, they've been trying to sell that to the snake long time. When I called the show and I said, boy, I gone outside and I saw a big snake wrap around my meter box, I was talking, just who I was talking about almost 2 years ago.
Oh, boy.
And that is exactly what the Bahamian people must be tired. We must be tired because the same players, and the same thing with Pike. Pike is wrapped up in it too, because the lawyers for Pike are the all for me baby people. It's the same thing, the same set of people. We got to be tired, man. They are fleecing, robbing, ripping off the Bahamian people right before our eyes, and then they move the Center for the Performing Arts inside the House of Assembly. Because them good at that. And what they doing in there is just performing on the Bahamian people.
But it's a bad show, though. It's a terrible show. The ratings and the
because
reviews are
Dwight?
horrible.
Because, Dwight, guess what? You, me, you, and Chester, we are paying for this through our nostrils. And the Bahamian people must be tired, man, Dwight.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So what's happening? Is she getting the money back? Are you getting the land back? Do you have the land? You don't have the land? You lost the land? You lost the money? What's going on? Just letting it go like that? Oh, that's them. Oh, boy, look what they did. Ha, ha, ha. Let's move on. That's it? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
I'm Don, Dwight. I know these type of things. St. Chester, good morning to you, too. Dwight, this was going on, right? You know that this is a very frustrating situation, Dwight, but you know this ain't going to change because the status quo administrations, right, the PLP and the FLM, this is what they call governance. This is how they deem they supposed to govern the Bahamian people. You just say to throw rock, right? But you ain't really trying to hit the target. You just throw in the rock just to throw the rock. So when the PLP comes, when the FLM comes in power, they just throw some rocks at the PLP to get their fan base riled up that they are doing something. When the PLP comes in power, they do the exact same thing. It's just to rally up the base, right? And because of this election is looming so closely, we can hear more and more foolishness. 4 years later, you can just come to talk about something that should have been dealt with in the first 3 months of your governance if you had any interested in governance. 4 years, you can come to tell us about a deal that we supposed already didn't know. But at the end of the day, I'm surprised, right? I stress out just like the rest of the Bahamian people who frustrated with these two antiquated dinosaurs, believe that they only could come and tell us things constantly, and we just sit back and just accept it. So, Bahamian people, if we love this movie, right, then this eventually can be in every theater around the world. I mean, around the Bahamas, right? Because we are the people who encourage in this movie because we keep going to watch the show. We gotta boycott these people so that this Bahamas can grow, if only just an inch, but or a fraction, because we are not growing. No, we are not growing in no angle in this country from the PLP or the FLM. We continue to go back and back.
Okay.
We need a different type of governance, but so please, my Dwight and Chester, let's try to see if we could help, and we could force even more pressure on the status quo segment what we have in this country when it relates to the PLP and the FLM.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right. So I just want to read a little more from today's National Guardian on this, or Travis Carroll writing about this, right? Joe Beth Colby Davis, the Minister for Energy and Transport, saying that the government lost $7 million and never got the land as part of this deal, right? The $14 million deal the administration entered into for the purchase of land as part of its energy reform plan with BPL. So again, she said the government lost $7 million and never got this land. Pintard said the deal was live when the FNM lost the government in September 2021, saying, quote, the clear impression the minister sought to provide is that the deal was inappropriately executed and failed during the time. I'm saying that particular deal was wide open, available to the government to determine what it wished to do on December 30th, 2021. It did not fail because the Free National Movement did not execute as per the agreement. So Colby Davis had risen on a point of order earlier in the day to refute criticisms from Pintard about the Davis administration's plans regarding BPL. She said, quote, "We are creating an energy dossier that will break down and explain every part of this project." This is the LNG deal. We are creating that will be a communication piece in layman's terms for everybody to understand and exactly what is transpiring. One thing I want to say about their plan, if they want to call it a plan, when I got BPL under my portfolio, I picked up on plans that were on the table. One thing that I did was I looked at the entire concept. BPL is financially strapped. If the F&M had looked at the entire transformation of BPL, they would not have entered into a land purchasing deal and paid $7 million out of BPL's already cash-strapped bank book to a company that was selling land and never closed the deal. The cost $1 million, they paid $7 million, and we got no land. The person is still holding the land. We paid $7 million. The deal never closed, and this was a part of their energy reform plan. She did not give any further details. Now, the Nassau Guardian understands that the PLP administration was made aware of the land deal that the deal needed to close by no later than December 31st, 2021, but certain required actions were not taken, leading to the deal falling apart and the buyer keeping initial payments that were made by BPL, as well as keeping the land it had intended to sell. Well, that is a really stupid deal. But okay. Yeah, it's insane. It's $7 million. Okay. I don't know if I'd let it go like that. I don't think I could let it go like that. We'd have to let the courts rule against. But anyway, all right. But so she's not been the minister since the beginning. Perhaps that's what she's saying. And I don't know if why the previous minister did not reveal this. But this is just frustrating. It's frustrating. Let's take some more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, good morning.
Pleasant day, pleasant day. The American had a strike on the Houthis, and they used the wrong form of, what do you call it, communication, classified information, arguments were used on a different platform, and that made news instantly. Our situation sometimes take, as the previous caller said, 4 years or when it's just before.
No, I don't think it's comparable at all. It's
no. I'm talking about the time the information comes out, the delay.
Well,
so that is
no, it's very different. Had that been a situation like similar situation, that would have been out immediately. So I don't think this is comparable.
But and still, it's not even fully out. That's another. So it needs to be explained. I would not be in an ASU for as little as $100 a month, and have some kind of contract that if I miss one payment, I lose all my money.
Well, that's how they work, though.
So there's something, but we are losing money in many ways, and so this $7 million is not as large as the amount of money that we're losing elsewhere. I have a question: how much money have we lost in terms of the default of loans, student loans, when we used to have student loans? So if we were thinking of money loss, we have to think of so many areas. The good thing about it right now that the government is no longer giving loans; they're giving academic grants. So if you qualify for it, you can get a grant.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate the call this morning. Let's take some more. Good morning, caller. Talking about BPL. Good morning. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Great. The sentiments of most of the callers with respect to both parties being very, very similar in offering the Bahamian people the same level of frustrations over many, many similar issues, and in this particular case, BPL. I agree. I had an experience this week that pretty much confirms that even in the case of Mr. Pintard, there seems to be a comfortableness on a familiarity or an engagement of the same when it comes down to the Bahamian people. I was in one of the communities earlier this week, and I ran into a group of F&M personnel campaigning. And the person who was nominated for that constituency is a candidate that the Bahamian people rejected some time ago under the banner of the F&M, in fact, in the last election. And Mr. Pintard has been generous enough to offer the Bahamian people that same failed candidate on his ticket. And I mean, I'm not prepared to give Mr. Pintard a pass on this. I think that if you're serious about
Do you
change,
know how many cabinet ministers have failed?
Yeah, but again, Dwight,
elections?
We're asking for change. Pintard is saying that he is going to offer the Bahamian people change. And to me, when I saw that candidate, I said, you know what? You can't expect any change if you are going to bring the same people back at the table with the same kind of thinking, the same kind of performance to the Bahamian people. I see that as a vote of him saying that he's comfortable with the status quo. And that's what the Bahamian people is frustrated and upset about, the status quo. That's all I have.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, well, boy. Let's take another call. Good morning, you're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Let's take the other one. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning to your guest, too. Guess what? I hope that Mr. C. Allen Johnson, because hope you see how stupid he was inside the House Assembly yesterday. You understand? And every time he called your talk show, he toting water for this man.
Okay, but let's make it about the politicians.
But with the deal, how the hell, person would craft that deal really got their money's weight? Because if you could get $7 million and say, if you don't pay by tomorrow, the next 7, are you keeping the money and the land? And you get nothing. But then, Kobe Davis, I don't mean she believes she's some superhero because they knew but they knew what went down, but they hold the trump card to slap on the table right before election. Because if it was the other way around, the F&M would have done the same thing. And told them the same piece in one pot. And Bahamian people, wake up, man. Wake up, open your eyes. Be getting goosey left, right, and center, man.
Interesting times. Thanks a lot. I'm trying to think how I can negotiate deals like this. Like, if you, how can I get a deal like that? Like, if you don't do this for me, I'm keeping everything. When does
that ain't a normal deal?
No, absolutely not. But I mean, the caller brought up ASU.
You need to be close to somebody to have a deal like that.
You think so? And then especially to not pursue it after it's gone. Like, hey, at least half of that give us back. No? Wow. But the caller brought up ASU. I think that's the only thing where that works like that. You put in a bunch of money and you default, then you've lost it. So maybe it was like an ASU land deal? You think it would be the government to do it. ASU land. Yeah. Good morning. Call, you're on the air. Hey, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, good morning, Strachan. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
I'm not here to defend anyone who has done wrong, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I might support one party over the other. But this is what I'm thinking when I heard a former caller say, well, a failed candidate. When you refer to a fail, in which way? You might have lost your seat, but you might not have been a failure, because we know generally in the Bahamas, whenever we are voting people out,
yes,
the good goes along with the bad.
Definitely.
In
this system that we have, a lot of great candidates get kicked out. Yes, you're right. You are correct. I was thinking that myself while you said that. And there quite a few cabinet ministers.
Me because I'm not quite hearing you.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we can hear you.
Right. All I'm saying that all who would have lost were not failures. But they end up going.
Yeah.
That is basically how it works there. And it happened before too. So when you talk about, we don't want this failed person, this person might have done very well, but they end up losing their seat, and they couldn't be given another time. That's how I feel. Thank you.
I get your point, and you're right about that. Like I said, they're cabinet ministers who have lost elections currently. Right, and they're in the cabinet. They are MPs now, but they've lost before, and they came back, and they are. Whether they're failures or not, but they're there. So you can achieve success, at least win again after losing, after being a loser. Right, Chester?
Sure.
Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester. This is the one and only.
Oh, boy,
Strachan
you've been
Johnson.
summoned. Okay, you conjured
Let
up.
me start by saying, hey, Dwight, whenever somebody attacked the person rather than the message, you know what I say? I won. And those callers, whenever I drown you in a spoon of my thought.
But I have to warn you. So the people were texting yesterday, said it's soon time to start charging C. Allen for the ads. Because these calls have become ads now for the F&M. And we can't allow you to do that.
Okay, that's fine, right? But the same callers who wants to talk to implication because they're too embarrassed to mention the people they support because they would be attached to them at the hip. What I support is good governance. And my reputation for 20 years of advocacy against and for the PLP and the FNM has always been about leadership and potential. Potential is like a seed you plant in the ground. If not properly nurtured, then you may not get the product that you want. But we have progressed over the last 50 years, in spite of what some people like to say. The difference now is that we are now in a new dispensation. One, where we see the world changing rapidly. And guess what? My record over the years has told us, and I use the date, 2025, that we must prepare the Bahamas for a global change that will determine whether we sink or swim. And I see an opportunity, given the choices I have, on the table right now. I can't choose you, Dwight, because I support your position. You and I are identical in the need for in the name for the change of governance. I've been fighting for it for Freeport for 20 years. So you and I done. But is that the choice on the table for us now? We must look to someone concede that what you and I represent or argue for, the time is now for it to occur. That is the agitation.
You're going into add a space very close to it now. But I want to ask you this. So what do you have a lot of insight into unusual things. What do you make of a deal like this where you put in all this money, but if you don't do something by this time, I take it?
Normal. It's normal,
is that,
right?
Yeah?
Okay. See, you have to go back to when the deal starts, right? You could go and read the court cases and things that even appear in your newspaper. As the deal progresses, right? And you get to a point that you cannot withdraw. We see this even with the foreigners and things coming to the land. The question that they have to answer was, if the deal had a value, we have to assume that they didn't overpay for the thing, that they had an appraisal and everything else that the government had. The question then is, if the deal had a value and you want to go to a different space, let's say the property was worth $13 million, right? You would then continue to close on the deal even if you intended not to use that piece of land because it becomes part of your inventory. And then you could dispose of it later, even for $13 million, and there would not have been a $7 million loss. The question is, why was the deal not consummated? Why was the process? It isn't like we got rid of the civil servants and advisors to the government. We did. That comes on the onus of closing that deal then became to the Progressive Liberal Party, who got the handover notes on it, and would have gotten legal advice. We should now ask the Attorney General as to exactly what went on. The problem is this: what you have is a party that is moving from lyrical gymnastics to linguistic contortionism, rather than dealing with the issues of us. And I support the position. Let's bring the BPL deal and everything else into the public domain. And this is why, for those individuals who don't understand what we need in the Bahamas, we need a digital transformation, because that will bring the accountability, the transparency, the anti-corruption, all of those things into the marketplace. And so if they want to have a debate on ideas, let's have that debate on ideas as who is best capable of moving us to where we want to be. And I guarantee you, Dwight, 99.99% of the time, they will lose that debate, especially with me.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Wow. All right. Take one more call. Then we got to go. We're running out of time. Caller, good morning. You're on there. You have about 35 seconds. Yep, 35 seconds. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Okay, well, I guess they all are deciding. I can't do it in that time. You want to take that one? Yeah? Okay. Final chance. No? Okay, well, there you go. Choices made simple. Chester, we're going to break for news, and we'll be back with more. We've got a whole lot of your text messages to get to. We'll get to those on the other side of the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. When you started out with manager and self-made man, and your friends they all come calling, slap you on the back and say, some sense of it all, but I can see it makes no sense at all. Is it cool to go to sleep on the floor? I don't think that I can take anymore. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
We got some jokey leaders in a jokey town, a three-ring circus, what a bunch of clowns. They're joking and they're jiving and they're messing around. We got us, what a bunch of clowns.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 4224796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. We've got Chester Robards with us today. Say good morning, Chester. Chester, are you muted? Did he disappear? Is he there?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Chester's filling in for Laverne Gardner today. Laverne is on vacation, girls trip, and she was going to be away for a couple of weeks. So I said to her, but okay, you're away, but there's Zoom. You could still do the show, right, Laverne? Would you be available to do the show on Zoom even though you're on vacation? This is what Laverne said to me.
No, N-O, Dwight. No, Dwight. Absolutely not, Dwight. I will not be available Thursday, Dwight, to co-host with you. No.
Wow. So I said, Laverne, I'm going to play that on the air because, that was uncalled for, and that's really outrageous. This is what Laverne said to me.
Please do. Please play it on the air and let them also know how unfair you are to me, and tell all of my people who normally call in that I miss them. this Thursday, okay? Make sure you play that too.
Okay. Well, there you go. So Laverne saying hello to everybody, but that's what you're
round
doing.
of applause for that, Dwight.
You support sentiments like that, Chester? That's what you say? Huh?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. And why do you sound so muffled? What are you doing? Are you on a trip as well? Wow, okay. He's got no comment there. Anyway, let's move on. So we're going to get back to the shenanigans. Shenanigans here at Guardian Radio and shenanigans in the House of Assembly as well. So we're getting a reaction to the just bizarre exchanges, the one, the showmanship, the one-upmanship. But it's like, wait, did you show them up or did you show yourself up? Because this doesn't make any sense. What's going on, right? So we've got a lot of your text messages. Want to get to those before we get back to the calls. Some really good insights into this. So this land deal is weird, and we're wondering why we're just hearing about this. But as some people are saying, well, okay, so yeah, you might have felt it was a bad deal. Did you have it appraised to see if you were paying more than it was worth? But maybe you could have made the money back by selling it again. Right? Or held on to it, or something. So interesting comments here. Somebody saying, nothing surprises me in the Bahamas, and for a sitting government to let a land deal be squandered is quite embarrassing as a sitting government. I don't know if they are thinking that they have a gotcha moment with the F&M, but really it just shows that the present government is incompetent. Whoa. Also, we didn't forget the $1 million they lost in the deal regarding Cat Island with the solar deal in December. You remember that? When they signed that deal and didn't realize the fundamental requirements of that deal. We were watching these things. Interesting stuff. Land doesn't lose value. Adding land debt is a good investment for a company. The government should have backed the purchase. Interesting stuff there. More of your text messages. This person says here, oh boy, I lost them. I used to call the PLPs delusional, but I don't think they are. They're deliberately playing political and psychological warfare on emotions to manipulate Bahamians. They're very crafty and cunning. Wow. They put up BPL bills by 162%, and now they're bragging about reducing it by 57%. They're touting this as a great achievement. Yikes. The Prime Minister and Colby Davis that the government is continuous. There's another one. Why did Joe Beth Colby Davis not make the Prime Minister make his point in peace? He might as well did let her talk. Well, that's how it always is. I heard an F&M MP giving a presentation, and Michael Pintard just nonstop chorus. Nonstop. It was, what is going on? And I mean, the mic is clear. You can hear every word, but they're seated. But, oh boy. Anyway, we watch these two parties play Dumb and Dumber every election time and still fall for these games. Former PMs from neither party will come and clear up these lies, and these current contenders doing the same dance. Both parties are the same. Bahamians, wake up. Pintard likely doesn't know 99% of what Minnis did. If you've never had a boss who has it out for you, takes away all of your access to everything, leaves you in a dark corner with a desk and a chair, this is what it looks like. The only person who gets some satisfaction is the petty boss, because the organization suffers. In total agreement yesterday, that was absolute nonsense. If Joe Beth Colby Davis and the PM believe this makes them look good, we are not impressed. The administration should have come to us years ago with a full plan, including any challenges, minus the gotcha drama. Every day, another foolish drip drops. And it was hot yesterday. Electricity was off. Here we go again. Oh, no, where were you? Which part of the country was that? Sorry to hear that. Wow. This person says, did Colby Davis think this was going to gain her brownie points? 4 years in, I'm blaming you as minister. You need to go sit down. I don't think adding a middleman, how can I fix this up? How could add oh boy, I don't think adding a middleman to snake the LNG deal is not what they said. But anyway, this is a disgrace to the Bahamian people gaining. What are we gaining from this new deal? Well, she says we're going to get a whole new dossier. Is that her word? a dossier on this, and you'll be able to understand in layman's terms every part of this deal and why it makes sense. Another text. Do we need Doge and Elon Musk to come to the Bahamas? What do you think of that, Chester?
You need a Doji egg.
How many millions was lost in the original straw market deal that never happened? Remember the never-ending baseball stadium, Bahamas music festivals, and monies paid out? How many millions lost in the city market post office deal? It's like there's plenty others. But I hear you. How many millions? It's like a Bahamian people's expense. We are the only losers. Tell Jobeth Kobe Davis to use that same energy to be transparent about the Pike deal. Tell them it sounds similar to the seventh-day school deal on Wolf Road. I think they're talking about Bahamas Academy. I thought governance is continuous, but I guess it's not, especially when it comes to benefiting cronies. When C. Allen Johnson calls, you listen to him for all of what he wants to make his point. Is that because you're fully in agreement with him? Please read on air. We cut him when we don't agree. Do you know that just how many Bahamians would love to have an alternative to either party? We rage about both parties, but what else do we have? That is the despairing situation that we're in. Desperate, I think you're trying to say, yeah. Well, there are other parties. There are. Spelled D-W-Y-T-E. In any normal real estate transaction, the deposit is held in escrow until the deal is finalized. And if the deal doesn't go through, then the deposit is returned to the potential buyer. This was a bad deal for the government. It would be great to know more.
I don't think every deal is the same. My family was in a deal for a piece of property one time, and they didn't get the deposit back because that just was how they structured it.
Why did they agree to that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure people do it because sometimes they're willing to give you like a longer time to get things in order, but then that takes their property kind of off the market, right? Because it's in process, and they could lose a deal while they're trying to do a deal, right?
I hear you. This person says here, freedom of information. Yes, we know we need that desperately. And they go on to say, C. Allen is now to the F&M what Anton is to the PLP, defending any gimmick their party is embroiled in. Oh, boy. Okay. Indians vote for parties, not candidates. Sometimes good candidates lose. We've seen that, indeed. And this person says here, the Prime Minister keeps emphasizing that this is what's best for the Bahamian people. I need him to be specific. Which Bahamian people? And they have some names that they're asking about. Dwight, is Laverne giving out lashes? Dwight is giving out slave lashes to Laverne and Chester this morning. What? No, not at all. They're all very happy, wonderful people. Right, Chester?
Thank you, Dexter.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you guys this morning?
We're doing well.
Okay. I have two things I want to say. First one, and let me know if you agree with me or disagree. Bahamian people, I'd like us to get together and just ask the sitting government, the opposition party, and any independent to come and sit down with the Bahamian people in an open forum and answer questions. And not some, all, everyone who's running for office, sit down in the public forum and answer questions given by the Bahamian people. What do you think about that, Dwight?
Sounds great. There are many ways that could be done. Town halls, debates, sure. Very hear you. It sounds wonderful.
No, Dwight, I don't want a debate. I just want my vote, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a Bahamian woman who does not vote. Because, believe it or not, none of the parties, in my opinion, does anything for this country. And when I say for the country, I don't mean do anything for me. I mean to build the country and to strengthen Bahamians so we are able to do for ourselves.
Mm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can come knock to my door and sit down with me, why can't you go in open forum? We have all these schools. Sit down with the Bahamian people who you love and trust and you want to make things better for. And I know the opposition party, the sitting government, and independents are listening. So this is a Bahamian woman. And if you want to get my vote, if you want me to vote, because I'm going to be honest with you, I voted when Bramville was in. Because why? He sounded like he wanted to do something for the country, and I wanted to give him a chance. I was tired of the same two persons saying the same thing. And when I said persons, I meant the two parties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And Bahamians like to cry and complain, but if you don't want to give someone else a chance, it's your fault. Now, another question. Now, this humoured me. I heard this on one of your talk shows the other day. If you were to go into business, you'll go into business to make a profit or to break even?
Business, preferably profit, I'm sure.
Okay. You guys have a wonderful day in Bahamian people.
All right, now you can't just drop that and go. I said, why
Okay.
did you bring that up? Are you talking about the government?
No, I
Okay.
heard someone on your talk show.
Mm-hmm.
They was talking about business.
Yeah.
And, a Bahamian was saying how they go into business and they want to make money and the government holds.
Okay.
The person told them, you don't always have to make a profit. You can break even. Now, if I was to go into business, I'm not going into business to break even. I'm not dealing with all the government rhetoric, the foolishness from typical Bahamians. When I'm having my business, I go into my business to make a profit. Now, I'm not saying being a millionaire. I don't care if my profit is $100,000, $50,000. I'd like a profit. But I found it humorous.
Oh, that is odd.
That someone says you go into business to break even, and then they mention
Why would someone say that?
a non-profit
That's insane.
organization.
No, I think you're taking that out of context.
Oh, no, I'm not.
You sure?
I'm sure. But
Because I can imagine that it was said that the government isn't in the business to make a profit.
No. The person was saying sometimes you go into business and you break even.
I mean, sometimes that happens, and that's better than losing.
Yes, but the person was saying that they wanted to go into business to make a profit. I just wanted to ask that question.
Okay,
Guys,
interesting.
have a wonderful day.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Well, I mean, hey, again, it's better than the alternative. But let's take some more calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, man. This is a fun morning. Dwight, I have a deal for you, okay? But you go in the business I'm in, finding that break-even point is important because that sort of like puts you right there where you can't lose anymore, and from there on in, you're looking at profit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to know that point of break-even. I don't know if the lady's referring to something like that, but I can't see somebody just going into business just to break even. But listen, we need to talk about these deals, though. We got a deal, and that one that deals with having buoys and docks and so forth out in the ocean. And that deal, could we talk about that deal?
We're waiting to hear the very latest on that. Yeah, right. He did. I don't know if he was misquoted, but he told another. They were asking about if there are going to be any consequences or further investigation into how somebody in the OPM could be so directly involved in this. And according to another paper, he told them he's not talking about that anymore. I don't know if that is accurate, but I'm sure he must have been misquoted. That just doesn't make sense. I'm talking about the Prime Minister. But yeah, we're waiting to hear. They said they're going to introduce some legislation that will make it very clear how this is going to work going forward. But
okay. Well, listen. Have you ever seen, right? Because I really want to make a deal with you. Have you ever seen a Guardian radio?
A what now?
A Guardian radio. Think about that down. No, this is a deal. I'm pretty sure you're going to thank me for my mastery of alchemy when we finish this one. Have you ever seen a Guardian radio? Because I think I have the one and only Guardian radio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now, I need for us to just make sure now. Write down today's date because I'm going to show you how I made this Guardian radio. I bought this solar power radio, right? And every radio has a dial where you can tune the frequency using the capacitance, inductance, little knob there, and you can tune it directly to where you want it to be to have your radio station zoom in, right? So after I tuned it, right, I went and I got some epoxy glue, and I sealed that point so that that radio would not be able to go untuned from Guardian Radio.
Okay.
And I have the first one.
Wow. So
Now, the longer I keep this
sounds like we
Guardian
should be
Radio,
selling-
the more valuable it becomes.
Yeah.
That's the deal I have for you.
We should be selling these right here at the station. It's a good idea. We'll talk. We'll talk.
All right.
Okay. All right. Let's squeeze in these calls really quickly, folks. Good morning, caller on the air. Are you there?
Yes, good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
Thank you for taking my call. Good morning to Chess as well. Can you hear me?
He's there. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, I want to chime in on the BPL deal. First of all, I am not a business person, but I want to apply a little bit of common sense to the discussion, taking away the politics and the politicians. Now, if there was a land deal or an agreement, one to sell a land for a particular value, the person who sells the land, I believe, wants to get rid of his land. The person who wants to apply for the land, apparently he have a business deal, a business transaction that he wants to complete. Both of them are assured of that deal too. Both of them would craft that agreement to suit their particular purpose. Now, the question that I have, or the concern I have for this is that, one, either the was new, didn't know about this deal, the $7 million that was deposited in this land deal, or he was not informed, because he did not know, or it was intentional. I don't think it was intentional. Now, to me, if I come into office and I know that there's a deadline on a particular land deal where $7 million was invested, I would believe I would seek to either secure that $7 million, to get it back, or to make some decision not to lose it. It's the government's responsibility. They have a right to go whatever direction that they want to go. If they decide that, hey, look, I do not intend to go in this particular direction, they have a responsibility to secure the people's money. And they secure the people's money either that they decide to look, I cannot afford to let $7 million go in the drain. Let me secure this deal. Let me close this deal, hold on to this land for some future value, either housing or whatever else you want to do with it, rather than let $7 million go down the drain. To me personally, I believe that the minister responsible, a fellow who I have great respect for, I believe he was not aware of this, aware of the hedging agreement. I don't know if I don't know what happened there, but he said he was not aware. Then he come back and he said that he was aware. So there could be some level of incompetence there, or some level of lack of knowledge. So I think that I cannot blame the former government for it. Because if they say that they want to go in that particular direction, they would have secured. And that's the reason why they agreed to, I believe, securing this $7 million. There's no difficulty in depositing the $7 million to be assured that that's the direction that we want to go in. But once it becomes known or decided that we would not go in that direction, it's incumbent upon the incumbent government to secure that $7 million so that we do not lose it.
Yeah.
So I think that take away the politics from everybody. Let's look at the common sense logic, and we see that somebody owes $7 million.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Thank you so much, Dwight. I appreciate you taking time to listen to me.
Thank you. And again, I could see Dwight Strachan losing the $7 million, because who am I? And maybe Chester Robards, but not the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Like, who's this person? And you're not even going to name them. Like they're refusing to give you the money back. Like, hey, come on now. No, I don't think.
I mean, technically, isn't it still part of my $7 million?
Whose?
I'm connected to it.
As in the government's.
Yes.
But yes, they lost it.
Right.
Right.
It's my tax money.
What?
It's taxpayer money, right?
It's our money. Yeah, exactly. Get it back. Hey, because we're gonna make your life a living. More of a living hell than it is already, probably. And You're gonna, yeah, I got the government. I tricked, boy, I got one over the government. They're not gonna, no, this doesn't make sense unless who is the crony here? Who is the political crony? That person, maybe a friend of, anyway. This is odd. And again, the fact that we're just learning about it is extremely strange. I'll take these calls before we go to the break. Good morning, you're on the air. Really quickly, caller, we're running out of time. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good
Hi.
morning, Chef, sir. You know, listening to what's going on this morning, it's really ironic because it seems like this government came in and feel like if they ignore deals that began under the previous administration, they are hurting the administration without realizing that they're actually hurting the Bahamian people.
Yeah.
And this is what it seems to be like a petty I take no last from you type of situation.
Absolutely.
You understand me? Because look at even the land stuff that minister started. They could have looked into it and see if there was any way they could have used it. If not, then say, then look somewhere. But they just intentionally left it. The hedging deal, they just intentionally left it. Everything that was there that they could have looked into, it wasn't we overlooked it. It's like it was an intentional act, figuring that they are hurting the F&M, you understand me? Which they are actually hurting the Bahamian people. And the persons who are getting this money, I'm sure if we could find out this information, it's probably connected to them.
Yeah.
This is why they refuse to call the names.
It really is odd. It is odd. I'm glad you called back because last week I cut you off because you were saying something and I said I didn't want that out there because I needed to verify that first. And I heard you say it on another show. And somebody texted me to say I was very rude for cutting you off. But I really didn't want that out there because it needs to be verified before we keep.
Did you get to verify
So
it?
listen to this. So what I'm being told, this is from the Ministry of Works, Bahamix is not being privatized, but a board is being appointed to manage its affairs. So I'm told that all of their accounting went through the Ministry of Works accounts department before. With the appointment of the board, they will have their own budget and accounts department. And they're expecting that this will prevent delays in future paving projects.
Oh, okay.
So,
because I wanted
on.
to find out about that because from what I was told, but my husband was told, and he works there, is that their contract with the government, will be terminated, and they will be beginning under this new company that's taking over Bahamix as a new employee.
Well, the
and
board, I guess.
This is what he was told.
Okay.
So there's something still not right there.
So I guess the board is going to review everything and come up with new contracts with folks. Perhaps.
Probably.
But it'd be good if they could, Chester, I don't know if you've heard that before, if you heard this, if you knew about that. There's so many things that just don't get publicity. I don't know if it's because sometimes the media doesn't think it's important or if it just isn't publicized.
It's the same thing like I said just now, it's the same like I said. They are intentional about things because their persons are involved and they don't want those names out there just yet. They are intentional with what they are doing.
Okay, interesting. On the face of it, that sounds like not a bad thing with the board. Again, as you say, it depends on who's on the board.
Like that.
Who's on the board, right? Boy. Anyway.
Okay, because there's government, people's money, there's our money in that also.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody is setting up themselves for when they are no longer in government. I hate to say it like that.
Maybe. Not necessarily, but maybe.
True.
Maybe.
Let's hope that's what it is.
Yeah, let's hope it's not like that. Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate you calling back. All right. We got to go to the break. Let me read this as we go. Yeah, they're repeating the same things. People saying the government's continuous, so you just can't just use that to sling mud, essentially. If this were the FNM, they would have named those parties involved in taking the $7 million. You think so? Remember when Minnis named and shamed the NGOs for the National Food Committee? At least they are a bit transparent. You sure that's the way that went? Anyway, they do it when it's convenient, both parties. When it is convenient, they'll name you. When they don't like you, they'll name you. And when they do like you, they won't name you. So we just are playing games. And they're playing games with us. It's disturbing. All right, we got to go to a break. When we come back, it's our Better You series. We're talking about communicating and navigating difficult conversations and difficult topics. I think a lot of us need some advice on that. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
The House of Parliament must see a jokey place. 'Cause all I see is laughing when I look in at their face. They chuckling and giggling like something sweet in there. We drowning in crime, boy, ain't no jokes out here. The Parliament is a circus. Watch out, they just flaunt. Just juggling and jiving, say any mess they want. Watch when they on TV, they like potent sheep. They eating and they're laughing, or they fast asleep. 'Cause we got some jokey leaders in a jokey town. A three-ring circus, what a bunch of clowns.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that
Yes,
helps us,
yes.
gives us better
Knowledge.
knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
With RBC,
Your ideas become plans.
Your plans become memories.
This is retirement.
And your dreams become your life.
whether it's planning that family vacation, owning your dream home, or retiring comfortably, your ideas are everything. And RBC is here to help make them happen. With RBC, your ideas happen here.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information.
Are you ready to indulge in the islands of the Bahamas? Take off to TCI, hop over to Havana, or fly to Florida. No matter the destination, jumpstart your journey with Bahamas Air, the national flight carrier of the Bahamas. Take advantage of our frequent flyer program and exclusive hotel and car deals. Book your flight now at bahamasair.com or visit your local ticket sales office in Nassau or Grand Bahama. Bahamas Air, we don't just fly here, we live here.
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawing live at the Vibes Cartel concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. To 7 p.m. on Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC.
We ship also to the Family Island.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Ready to dive into a thrilling career? Well, Celebration Key wants you. Join our lifeguard test on April 1st at the Betty Kelly Cannon Aquatic Center. Bring your swim gear and your A game at 9 a.m. Secure your spot today. Visit CelebrationKeyGrandBahama.com for the registration link. Make a splash with us and show off your lifeguard skills on Monday, April 1st.
We got your final look at weather brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Here's what's happening. We've got an Atlantic cold front that's going to merge with lingering troughing near the southeast Bahamas. That's going to keep showers and thunderstorms in the forecast across the southern islands for the first half of the day today. Following behind that front, we've got an expansive high-pressure system over the southeastern U.S. That's going to largely dominate weather across the country, and that's going to lead to some gusty winds developing beginning tonight. As a result of that, we've got a near-gale watch coming into effect tonight at around 6 p.m., and that high-pressure system is going to emerge off the Carolinas early Friday, and that's going to bring the strong to near gale force winds into the weekend across the area and bring some showers as the front weakens also. And then we've got a mid-level trough along with some lingering moisture going to trigger some possible showers and thunderstorms across the northern parts of the country for the beginning of the work week. And warmer temperatures are expected for next week. There is an elevated risk of rip currents for north and east coastal waters. Today, beachgoers are urged to exercise caution and stay out of the water beginning tonight through the weekend. For today, for the northern and northwest Bahamas, look for mostly sunny conditions. Fair tonight with increasing cloudiness by late night tonight for the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence. For the central and southeast Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds becoming partly cloudy tonight. Temperatures, we're looking at highs around 83, 84 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Friday, tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy. A mix of sun and clouds for Saturday, and for Sunday, for the northern and northwest Bahamas, cloudy to overcast. Partly sunny, turning fair at night for the central and southeastern islands. Pretty much the same on Monday. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Are your walls giving major L? Well, time to fix that at your nearest Sherwin-Williams paint store. We've got vibrant colors delivered with professional vibes. Done listening? We'll start glistening with Sherwin-Williams paints. And we've got a look at traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. In your real-time traffic, things looking a bit better for you now on Milo Butler Highway. As you get closer to Harold Pond is when you'll see that northbound, that heavy northbound traffic all the way up to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. But six-legged roundabout still looking busy for you. Northbound on Milo Butler Highway, eastbound on John F. Kennedy Drive, southbound on New Providence Highway, all looking busy. Blue Hill Road, also heavy traffic for you north of Carmichael, especially as you get near Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive northbound. You'll see that slow-moving traffic there. Traffic backed up both directions on Independence Drive right now. Over on Gladstone Road, things not looking bad until you get to Munnings Road. Heavy, slow-moving traffic there on the way to John F. Kennedy Drive and Bahamar Boulevard. We are still seeing some slow-moving traffic on West Bay Street near Nassau Street, just east of Arawak Key if you're heading eastbound. And downtown looking a bit busy near Shirley Street into Duke Street and eastbound on Bay Street. Eastern Road, busy but manageable for you, just east and west of Fox Hill. But as you get into Shirley Street, you'll be seeing a lot of slow-moving traffic from Montague straight above Mackey Street this morning. That's your real-time traffic in your morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. And we're going to start this here, but we're going to take this into business. But it is time for our monthly series, Better You. And that is with Farrell Goff, who is with us, certified coach. And he's with us again. Good to see you again, Farrell.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas. Morning, Chester. Good listening to you guys this morning.
Chester's on a delay of some sorts, it seems. But Chester, you're still there, right? All right, so the topic today is communicating, and there. Wow, what are you on? Jupiter this morning? What's happening? That's one of the longest delays we've seen in a while.
Neptune,
yeah. Communicating, navigating difficult conversations and topics, especially in your personal life, but also in business as
Absolutely.
well. Is there a span on the people involved?
I think, first of all, Dwight, we can all attest to the challenge there, right? We see it in politics and the public sphere. We see it in the home and schools. We know that is a very challenged area for Bahamians. I mean, many people in particular, but obviously, our audience is mostly the Bahamas. So.
Right.
And just something we need to keep in mind. If you think from a foundational standpoint, a lot of us were raised in homes where challenging or questioning or even commenting was strongly discouraged.
That's right.
It was pretty much not allowed, and in many instances, it could have ended with some physical pain, right? I mean, the whole gamut of quote-unquote, that's back-talking.
Yeah.
We have no idea how destructive that concept is for most families and homes in the Bahamas.
Think about it. Adults were proud to say children should be seen and not heard, right?
That was the way, right? Not realizing that you're suppressing the confidence and the character of these little people who are trying to find their way in this world. But most importantly, I mean, you're definitely perpetuating the not tackling difficult topics, right? You don't challenge me. We see it. We don't only see it in the homes as well, Dwight. Most of us have grown up in churches, and we see religious leaders have unfeathered power. We see political leaders unfeathered power. You don't question them. It's just there's not even a mechanism in place to question them. We see it in schools that when the teacher says goes, the idea of you questioning that teacher, are you insane? I am the authority. I am the figure. Yeah. Even if your question is absolutely reasonable to in any of those scenarios, Dwight, to your parents, to political leaders, religious leaders, schools. We see with police, with the police force and other figures of authority. Yeah. You simply do not question them.
The struggles for question time in the House of Assembly, right?
Even that, right? Because I am the authority. I have the right. I choose what I respond to and what I don't respond to. As a matter of fact, you be careful how you approach me, right? And it's that then encourages, and the seed is then planted where we are challenged. We simply do not know how to deal with difficult conversations. To this day, I mean, it's hard to have a religious conversation with most Bahamians. It's hard to have a political conversation with most Bahamians. It's hard to have a gender conversation with most Bahamians. It's just it's not an area that we've very well for us, right? In all aspects of life. So we grow up pretty much without that skill, and we turn into adults who can navigate normal life pretty decently, right? But then when tension arises or when there is a need to address a particular issue, we find ourselves, for the most part, avoiding it altogether.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go away, whatever that issue is, whether it's work-related, whether it's personal, whatever area of life, it doesn't go away. It actually only festers, grows, and becomes even more destructive to the point of what? Guess what happens? It's going to explode.
Yeah.
You're going to reach a point where you simply can't hold it in anymore. It's going to be the absolute inappropriate time, and it's going to come out in the absolute inappropriate way. And that's when you expect to resolve the issue. So it's, I mean, a lot of it comes from our past, Dwight, from our childhood, which, I mean, I know this is almost like a cliche, but childhood trauma is real. I mean, that's where a lot of us learned the things, the good and the bad, that we carry today as adults, pretty much, for most part, straight through our lives, because most of us never really address it. We never really heal or just, deal with these specific issues that we're challenged in. So, and this one is, I think it blocks our development in person-to-person relationships. It blocks our development from, political and nationalistic standpoint. So it's rather destructive. It's something that we need to do, to learn a better job doing, Dwight. But most, understanding where it comes from is important. And then, taking the necessary steps now to try to resolve it. And it's just baby steps. That's all you can take. It's not going to change overnight. And I know you mentioned business. We definitely see it in the business world. Some of our business leaders, they're untouchable. Most people below them walk on eggshells.
All right, so does it improve over time because of aging or improve?
Very, I know they say time heals all things and that sort of stuff. That's absolutely false. Very few things actually improve over time.
Wow.
You have on their own.
Yeah.
You have to be deliberate about it. Absolutely, it can improve over time. But you have to be deliberate. You have to really, really want to do better in this area, or value your relationships, personal work relationships. You want to be an effective leader, so you take the necessary steps you need to expose yourself to some better ways of working and communicating. But it takes a very deliberate effort, because we're trying to change things that have been built into us from we were wee little children.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we've seen. That's what we've adopted. Right, and that's what we dug into, and really only increase the challenge we have in that area.
All right, so I want you to give tips in a bit, but can you on your own say, I'm going to learn, I want to be a better communicator, I want to listen better, and just pause and go through this on your own, or do you need to get help?
No, you can, Dwight. It's very difficult, though. I must admit, that you see it in the field. You see it as we go for folks to improve particular areas of their lives completely on their own, right? And without some type of support system, whether it's a social support system, because multiple people may be trying to achieve the same thing, so they lean on each other, they support each other, they push each other, motivate each other. But to say do it on your own, Dwight, it is possible, but it is very difficult. We're incredible living creatures.
Yeah,
we can adapt, we can learn, we can grow. That's something that's just phenomenal about human beings. But it takes a very, very deliberate effort and consistent effort to make that happen, right? Particularly in these areas that are deeply entrenched into our psyche, that was placed there from we were children, like this thing, like this topic, right? You be careful. I don't like people to challenge me. What you mean you challenge me? Am I wrong? I dumb then, right? That especially don't do it in front of people. You embarrassing me, especially if I have a position of power. What? You challenge, you question me in front of the whole entire team? I can mash you down because my ego now, that touches my ego, because I don't know how to handle it. I cannot rationally receive what you just said as a very reasonable question, right? Maybe the numbers aren't working, so somebody put up their hand and say, this doesn't make sense to me. Can you please explain what? Don't make sense to me? You crazy? We take it as a personal attack, Dwight, because that's what we've seen.
Yeah.
That's what we've seen modeled in our lives, right? You just in the House of Assembly the other day, right?
Every day.
and somebody
time.
say that ain't fact or that ain't right. What? Happening your time, that ain't happening my time. Now you're always in power. Opposed to just could we just simply address the issue that was brought up?
Okay. We're going to break for news headlines. When we come back, we're going to get some tips and go through some examples of what not to do and what to do. We're talking with Farrell Goff. He is a master certified life coach. And it's a big title. All right. We're going to get into this with him. This is our monthly life improvement series, Better You, right here on Morning Blend. We're going to take this into business when we come back.
I wish I would have known that wasn't me. 'Cause even after all this time, I still wonder why I can't move on just the way you did so easily. Don't wanna know the kind of dress you're wearing tonight. If he's holding on to you so tight, the way I did before. I overdosed, should've known your love was a game. Now I can't get you out of my brain. Oh, it's such a shame that we don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore.
Pender is carrying a new line of tile, the Sky series of porcelain. Comes in 4 colors, tones, and shades. There's Sky Noir, Sky Azure, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Green. Sky Green, as you'd imagine, gives you a smoky kind of feel. It's not heavy and depressing, but gives the area a chill feeling. The Sky series comes in 2 formats, 24 by 24 at $5.30 a square foot, 12 by 24 at $5.25 a square foot. I really like this series for big spaces, and being porcelain, they can take a lot of traffic. The Sky series at Pender Tile.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technologies. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with custom computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
I am sure that you insure your car, your home, and you might take out health insurance. Did you know that your Bahamian dollar deposits are also insured?
Really? How so?
The Bahamas Deposit Insurance Corporation, DIC, provides financial protection with immediate coverage without any additional charges, up to a maximum of $50,000 per depositor.
$50,000?
$50,000? Think I break it.
That's right. Your deposits, whether a joint account, business account, trust, or your personal savings, are all protected by the DIC.
Yeah, boy.
But what if a bank runs into problems, you ask? Rest assured, your deposit and interest are calculated up to the date of closure, and payouts are made promptly, whether you're a local or non-resident.
I like the sound of that. Sign me up.
Just open an account with a bank or credit union that is a member of the deposit insurance, and that's it. You are automatically covered, no extra paperwork, no added cost. The Bahamas Deposit Insurance Corporation. Peace of mind assured, your deposits secure.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
But with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Better say Lampkin. Besides carrying all the roofing material needed to cover East End, Enterprises also has all the equipment needed to put it together and to protect your workers. At Enterprises, we got hand tools, power and manual, including hacksaws, hammers, mauls, wrecking bars, well, hopefully they won't need them yet, drill bits, tapes, plumb bobs, levels, and more. We got cement, concrete bond and fiber, lime, sand, and P-rock. We got dust masks, safety glasses, gloves, hard hats, and high visibility vests. Lampkin, what we got here at Enterprises is a one-stop shop for builders.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, March 27th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards today, filling in for Laverne Gardner, who's on vacation. And Laverne says she's not going to talk to us today.
If I ain't coming, I ain't sending you no voice note. You brutal. What? That's like I heard that.
Although Chester might be on vacation himself. Chester, are you there? So
present.
Okay, this is
that NASA delay.
He might be on a SpaceX flight. I'm not sure what's going on, but the delay. What's going on with that delay, Chester Robards?
I try and catch up with Laverne.
Okay, I appreciate it. We've got Farrell Goff with us. He is part of our Better You series, our monthly life improvement series. He is now a master certified life coach, and each month he's here to help us navigate through a lot of these difficult things that are holding us back in life.
Being human isn't as easy as we'd like it to be.
My goodness. Today we're talking about communicating and navigating difficult conversations and topics. We're going to focus in this part of the show on in business, but as we were talking about off air, if you're having challenges communicating in your private life with the people around you, you're going to have likely the same problems in the business realm.
We mirror ourselves at home and at work. That's the truth.
It'd be very odd to find somebody who's a really effective communicator in the business, in the office place, but can't talk to their loved ones. Although I'm sure
there's some
probably
people
does happen.
There's some
probably
people
does
do
happen.
it. There's a lot of trauma and challenges at home, and when we walk out of the house, we leave it there, and we're different people sometimes. In different areas of life.
Probably prefer to be at work than to be.
You mean we don't put on fronts at work?
Yeah, man. Of course. What you mean? Most of us put on fronts everywhere, Chester. Very few people walk in their authentic self.
Wow.
Very few.
Wow. All right, so we want to give examples of what not to do and what to do and get some tips from you. But I do want to play, I'm going to see if we can tie this in, because I wanted to play this earlier, Chester, but this very odd exchange in the house yesterday. And I feel like this is a prime example of communication gone bad, right? This is between Montague MP Adrian White and St. Anne's MP Adrian White and the Speaker of the House. And you figured that out, but take a listen to this. This cannot be the way people should be talking to each other. Take a listen to this.
I was thankful you came back when I was giving my contribution, Madam Speaker.
Be careful.
There are two great fires in this Commonwealth, Madam Speaker. It's the fire of the F&M, and it's the fire between Madam Speaker and Leader of Opposition Business in the House.
Fire?
Yes, ma'am.
Man, I'm no fire.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Where?
It's the fire you can't see, but the public catches it, Madam Speaker.
Drink. You want something to drink? The chair recognizes the honorable member for Freetown. You better be careful today. You're barking up the wrong tree. People.
Okay, so that's the House of Assembly, folks.
First of all, Dwight, is it that unusual? Unfortunately, we can say that. I'm not happy to say that as a Bahamian, but is it very unusual for us to hear that discourse coming from the Bahamas?
Par for the course in the House of Assembly.
Unfortunately, that's the truth.
But we do see people like that communicating all over the country.
Yeah. Well, that quickly moved from the issue to personal.
Yeah.
And that happens so often, Dwight, in many aspects of life, right? When we're communicating, particularly when our nervous system is elevated, when we start to get emotional, that shifted completely. That became two egos going back and forth. I'm sure it started from a legitimate issue in the House of Assembly being debated of the people's business, and it shifted to the fire, you barking up the wrong tree. Now at that point, I mean that's deep. I mean, for somebody to say you barking up the wrong tree, not that you're not following proper protocol. Right. There could be recourse for the language and behavior that you're using in this particular venue and environment, right? That's reasonable. That's the reasonable communication. You barking up the wrong tree, right? And not granted when he said fire, a fire is burning that the people is feeling. I'm sure it rubbed that the person in the chair a particular way. So And that's what we do. We quickly personalize, Dwight. We are incredibly sensitive human beings.
Yeah.
Especially Bahamians, very sensitive. And what that means is we take a lot of things personal very quickly. Like I said, if somebody challenges you, you quickly move away from the issue, and it's now about me. You challenging me? No. I wasn't challenging you. I was challenging the financial numbers you just presented. No. Sound like you challenging me, my boy.
Right.
I can have to deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
Another place would be. Go ahead, Chester.
Chester.
Maybe Adrian White needs to craft his jokes differently. You didn't play the rest of the audio there, right?
I don't even. And that's the thing, Chester. We have to know when is appropriate to joke and when is not appropriate to joke, right? I mean, and you got to be able to read the room, right? Situational awareness is a very serious thing, particularly at the level these fellas are operating at, and the ladies, and they're top of the country, running the affairs and making decisions that sometimes go south, obviously, from the headline of the newspaper. So,
well, I think you just did it. Let's get some more examples like that. If someone were to make a joke that falls flat or is bizarre, if you are in a position of authority, the best way to deal with that, especially in the business environment.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I'll be honest with you, right, and this is just my observation of the situation, the clip that you said. I do not take sides. I'm neutral. But in that situation, the Speaker of the House has an obligation, in my opinion, to take the high road, right? Those MPs, they get emotional all the time, and that's actually the purpose of the Speaker, is to keep order.
Right.
Is to keep us on track, for us to show maturity and professionalism, and exemplify what the Bahamas and the level we should be operating at as a country.
Mm-hmm.
So the minute that Speaker took it personal, right? I mean, I think that took a bad turn. At that point, you just need to stop. And that's an important thing too, Dwight. You got to know when to stop, right? I mean, if you feel yourself getting to the temperature rising within yourself, just say, hey, you know what, let's change. Sit down, sir. Let someone else take the mic, and let's move on to another issue, and we'll loop back to this in a bit, right? Mm-hmm. But the minute and it's hard, right? Because we don't see. We spoke about it last show, Dwight, with self-awareness. The Speaker probably didn't even realize that she took it that way, and in the moment, because emotions take over logic. Emotions and logic can't necessarily hold the same space, unfortunately. Right? Good and bad emotions. We make a lot of foolish decisions when we're happy. We make a lot of foolish decisions when we're angry or depressed or sad as well, right? So, I mean, in that instance, the Speaker of the House should have cautioned if she felt that the comments were inappropriate, or maybe going in a direction that she didn't feel that was right for the House of Assembly and the current discourse in the House. She should have made comment directly to the gentleman. Ask him to revise his comments if he wants to continue. And if he didn't, then I think she has the mechanisms to shut it down in that moment, right? Shut his mic down and move on to other things. But she never get sucked in.
Yeah.
It's the typical that she got sucked right into his banter. And that was it.
How much of that is about the people around her, though? And like Dwight said, we see this all the time, so it's normal. When she might want to respond democratically, but the session just jokey, so let me just carry on.
Yeah, and again, that's a good point, right? I mean, a lot of times we're influenced by the people around us, and again, ego wants to fit in, ego wants to be accepted, ego wants to be respected, even if we're going down the wrong road. But in leadership, business, political, religious, school, authority, we have an obligation to that position.
Yeah.
Right? Not to the people around us. Believe it or not, we have an obligation to that position, and in that moment, the Speaker should not have gone down the road she did.
Yeah.
She met the gentleman's energy exactly where it was.
And opposed often is the case in the House. Yeah.
I mean, I think 99% of the time, very few times we see upstanding moments in the House of Assembly when things are getting emotional. We see people, if someone being loud at us, guess what we do as Bahamians? Yeah. We get louder.
Well, that's the thing. That's the phrase now, right? I'm just matching energy.
That's it.
And so that
which is insane.
Insane.
bad energy, and bad energy only can get worse energy.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to happen. You cannot get good energy, calm energy, de-escalation energy from bad and bad.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
We'll get to you in a second. Give us a second. Okay, so let's bring it back to the boardroom. You mentioned it before. So you're in a board meeting, and you're making a presentation. You're the big boss, but someone's questioning the numbers, or this department's not doing what they're supposed to do. And, of course, somebody wants to take it personally.
Oh, we've seen it all the time. I spent 20 years in corporate, in the Bahamas, and I'm pretty sure many people listening are in corporate or spent time in corporate, and we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Might is right. I mean, more than likely, the position, the position gets to dictate what you can talk about, what you can say, and and it's amazing. Sometimes the environment or the leaders may say, "Hey, we want honest feedback. We want, do you really?"
Wow.
And it's not only do you want it, but can you actually handle it?
All right, so let's look at this from two ways. How do you, as the person questioning what's going on, do this in a way that people would be less likely to take it personally?
Let's say the CEO says something, and he or she has a group of VPs that should be there. Should be there. They're professional. Again, their professional obligation is the betterment of the company and all of the staff and team members and the budgets and revenues. But the CEO says something, and I feel deeply that this is wrong, or I may have data contrary to what was just presented. What do I do? Do I question it on the spot in front of these other folks, or do I not question it all? I have a few options. Or do I wait until the meeting is over and I go into his office one-on-one because he a little sensitive. I'm just saying, a lot of our leaders are, and let's call a spade a spade. A lot of them are sensitive. A lot of them are petty, right? And petty in the sense of you may not see it in their everyday behavior, but petty in the sense that if you rub them the wrong way, you have no idea how that could affect you down the road.
Right. So what should you do? What would you recommend?
Boy, you got to read the room, Dwight. Human survival is a serious thing, right?
Yeah.
We all have bills to pay. We have obligations. You got to be careful, right? You don't want to risk. I'm just saying, you have to, finesse that situation. If you really feel strongly that a decision that was presented may be detrimental to the company or to your product or service, I would recommend not. One thing I would do not challenge certain folks in front of other folks.
Yeah.
It's just they can't handle it. Majority of leaders in the Bahamas cannot handle being questioned in front of other people.
Wow.
And that's what Chester was alluding to when he mentioned the speaker.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the gentleman said what he said, and in front of the speaker and all of her colleagues, because she's still beholding to a party, right? It's not an absolute objective or neutral position, right? So we know what that can do. The ego is then triggered, right? You're telling me my numbers are wrong. What you mean? How you think I get in this position? I get in this position because I'm the smartest person in the whole company. And you of all people can tell me my numbers wrong? Prove it then. Show me. I mean, at that point, it's not even about the numbers anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's really, again, ego and ego now. That was taken personal. So I would definitely recommend in that scenario, Dwight, you go to the side. You wait till the meeting is over. Hey, can I talk to you real quick? So I just wanted to run something by you. You presented these numbers, and I just got a report from someone, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
All right. So what if you are VP and you're questioning the other VP and saying, well, your department didn't do this, and people like to say, wait, you just threw me under the bus. But how do you do that and not take that personally?
Well, Dwight, I'll tell you, the biggest issue is this, right? I mean, because we're just talking about layers of eggshells. Whether eggshells in the meeting, eggshells in the one-on-one, eggshells VP to VP. I mean, no one should have to walk on eggshells in dealing with another adult.
Yeah.
Right? But then when you're talking about the maturity level, we have a lot of immature adults, a lot of immature leaders who can't handle it. But the most important thing, Dwight, is for businesses and companies to create environments, where it is safe to just have open discourse and realize it is not personal. It is about business. It's about the items that we're talking about.
Right.
Create environments where people feel okay doing that and knowing that their job is not at risk, or some future promotion is not at risk, or their salary is not at risk, or some perk is not at risk, right? Or they lose favor the relationship is lost because they create these environments, create these safe environments, and really and truly, that's how you get the best out of your team.
Yeah,
is when they feel that the environments they can be creative, they can speak freely, you can have sometimes you're gonna have colorful discourse, for lack of a better word. And it's okay, but it's about the issue. We go hard at the issue, but when it's done, we walk out the room and we still maintain our relationship. And it happens in a lot of progressive companies.
Are there words to use won't escalate things, or the trigger words that might cause things to go and feel more personal than they really should be?
Yeah, I mean, there's and it's like a minefield, Dwight, because everybody is different.
What? Noted?
Everybody is different. Everybody has a different past, different history, different triggers. But the tone is huge. Body language is huge. Choice of words is huge, right? I mean, somebody would be like, "Oh, you always telling me, you always rowing me for the way I row," but that matters.
Yeah.
You ain't listening to what I say, and you just talking about you see my eyes turn red or this and that. Well, that matters because it makes me feel like a threat, like you're a threat to me. When you rise up and your shoulders rise and you start using these more aggressive words, that makes me feel like I'm under threat.
Yeah.
I cannot focus. I can't reasonably focus on the issue.
Wow.
Right? I feel like I have to defend myself at that point. So yes, I mean, language is important, but it's more important than the language that you use, the words that you use.
Yeah.
And tone is important, remaining calm, but it's very difficult to do. Right?
Extremely.
We saw just the simple clip that you sent. That went from like 0 to 100 in no time.
We're talking with Master Certified Life Coach Farrell Goff, talking about communicating, navigating difficult conversations, especially in your workplace and business life. Caller, we were just about to come to you and you went. But call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
No, stop lying.
Hi, are you talking about this? You called in to talk about politics, so that's what we're doing right now.
Well, you see, you can't start the conversation with you all stop lying. That immediately puts the other party in a defensive mode because you're making an accusation, opposed to someone saying, "Hey, I heard some information that you said earlier. I wanted to talk to you about it. I have some other information that's contrary to it. Can we have a civil discussion about this?" Right? Opposed to starting you lying, right? And that's actually is a good segue, Dwight, right? So what's recommended when you have to deal with difficult conversations in any aspect, you keep the focus on yourself, right? If I have an issue, if I want to bring up an issue with you, Dwight, right? And I come in and I say, Dwight, every time I come on the radio, you do this and you do that. I want to talk to you about that. Dwight, already you done defensive because I made an accusation of you. Or if I came in and I say, "Hey, Dwight, I want to talk to you about something, man. You have time? We have time to talk right now? Okay, cool. How's your day? Good. All right, cool. I feel the last couple of times I was on the show, I feel that you talk as much. I feel that I don't get to get through my subjects that matter because a lot of the calls and that sort of stuff. Is there a way that we can maybe address that and look into that?"
Is this a subtle way of you telling me this?
No. I ain't got no problem talking now. And I can talk.
Right, okay.
but those are two very different approaches.
Yeah,
one is more, you're like, "Oh man, Farrell, talk to me. You're my co-host. I definitely want to make sure you're comfortable when you come on the radio. Talk to me. Let's talk through that." Opposed to me coming in here and saying, "Dwight, every time I come on the radio, you don't let me talk, but you could let me talk." Even if Dwight is a reasonable person, generally, it's going to be hard for you to push through that, right? Because I started out with an accusation, similar to the caller just now. You're a lie. I mean, he didn't even finish, and you could hear the direction he was going in.
Well, that's another story. All right, so somebody says, Farrell is preaching. Yeah, okay. This one says, ask Farrell how to handle a situation like what they have in the U.S. right now with the Signal messaging app fiasco. In this discussion on the app, people in power deciding who lives and who dies, especially some innocent people. In this case, it's collateral damage of innocent people. Are there ethics or morals or human decency in this? Because the people in the chat, I think you're going a little far from where we're talking about today.
That was the leak discussion. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the unfortunate thing was it was leaked, Dwight. I mean, and here's the reality. And there's some harsh realities that exist in this world, and sometimes it's hard for us to digest that. That happens every day. Those type of discussions happen every day across the globe with military and political leaders at different degrees, of course. I mean, when you talk about America, some of the larger countries, that's at the highest level, right? They have so much influence on the globe, but I don't want you to sleep. It happens here as well with different discussions, different topics, right? It was never meant to be leaked. That's the unfortunate thing, right? Now, what do you do with it now that it's out? We got to dissect it. Hopefully the leaders put some better systems in place to protect the information and sensitive discussions. But I'm just a hard fact. Truth is that it's real. That happens every day. It's not unique.
Indeed, I don't think we'd like to know what's happening in offices around here, what people are saying about some of us, right? All right. So, is there a place you can go to get some tips on how to do better?
You mentioned earlier, is it possible to improve? It is.
Right.
It is from a business standpoint, from a personal standpoint. It is. I mean, you have to be committed. It's not easy, Dwight, because these are deeply rooted tenets of and almost tied into our DNA when it comes to our communication. We learned it watching our parents, watching other people around us very young, watching the House of Assembly, right? So we've normalized a lot of destructive habits, right, when it comes to communication and particularly dealing with difficult topics and conversations. So. Can you do it on your own? Yes. It takes a lot of work. It takes, you got to challenge yourself. But I always recommend from the standpoint, there's definitely some consultants out there that would come in and work with your teams and work with the leaders and try to, again, create these environments where people feel safe, right? And you could disagree. It's okay to disagree. There's nothing wrong with disagreements. There's nothing wrong with arguments. An argument in itself is not a negative term. It just means, two people going back and forth or trying to resolve an issue, right? We make it destructive with all the emotions and bad habits that we bring into it, right? It's okay to disagree. So and I want to say this to everybody out there as well. Remember, it's okay to disagree. Wow. And you can agree to disagree, and you can lead the discussion with you still having your position and me still having my position, right? It's okay.
I see that. Is it better? I see emails with ChatGPT. They can now tone down the snarkiness and the abruptness. Is it better to have these meetings via email? Keep everything to an email thread so that you can run it through the AI?
No, you're just running from the reality.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No. The point is, we have to manage our emotions better. We have to learn better habits of communication. Right. And working with a life coach or a communication expert or a consultant in business is definitely recommended. Right. Because it's not easy, but the benefits are huge. The benefits are personal relationship, business relationship. You get more, you build deeper relationships. There's more trust involved in the environment, which then leads to much bigger and better things opposed to everybody, trying to walk on eggshells, trying to mask their real feelings, right? Yeah. Not being able to come directly to the person. It's not easy, right? Something that's extremely important. Remember that if you're dealing with an issue, keep it about the issue as much as you possibly can. Yeah. As much as you possibly can. The recording that you played earlier, the speaker had an opportunity to go back to the point. Hey, sir, I hear you. Let's go back to the original item that was being debated, please. Okay? And leave all of the other stuff out of it. There was an opportunity there, right? To try to stay on track with the issue, right? If I say, Dwight, you don't ever let me talk. Hey, Farrell, let's hold on. Maybe I don't know if that's the real issue. Let's, maybe it's about there's too much callers or there's too much texts or enough. Your segment of the show isn't long enough. Let's talk about that, Farrell, right? Because and get us back on track, right? But that would take. Again, effective communication is rare. Yeah. And particularly in those escalated moments, very rare.
Chester?
You talk about going to a professional to help with the changes, but don't you have to start with wanting to change? You hear people say when they're responding to people, I care. I can take the situation like this. I care.
Yeah, because it's normalized, Chester, right? Because they can move around the Bahamas and feel totally at home, and that's what people do, right? They're not unusual. They don't stand out. They're, it's unfortunately I said before, we can normalize really bad destructive behavior if we're not careful, right? And it actually becomes comfortable because it's the norm.
When you become the boss, you can talk nice to people if you want, right? But I'm the boss now, and so this is who I am.
And this is who I am, and everybody got to get on board,
right?
If you don't like it, you can leave.
Do you think the behavior is becoming even popularized because social media, people go viral for acting silly and being like this, even though I'm sure there's consequences in that.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, that's an interesting point, Chester. I do believe the younger generations are actually doing a better job than we did and the generations before us. I do think that they
really.
I know social media tends to amplify certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe millennials, in general, they're less tolerant of the things that we're more tolerant of, right? We would accept someone speaking down to us because they have a higher position. We would accept being victimized. It's certain things we would accept because I want to protect my job, right? So we actually we encourage some really, really bad behavior knowingly with our eyes wide open. I think some of these millennials, they're going to say, hey, my parents ain't talking to me like that. You think you can talk to me like that? I don't need this job. I had plenty other jobs out there because that holding on to one job for 40 years is simply not them. It's not their cup of tea, right? And then they're not in it just for the money. They're just they just want life experiences, which is not a bad thing. But I'm just saying. So Chester, to your point, I do believe social media glorifies certain things, unfortunately, and sometimes very disproportionately than the negative. But generally speaking, I believe the younger generations are less tolerant of some of that bad behavior, and they are learning, and they're being exposed to a lot more positive information than we did as well. So there's a double-edged sword when it comes to social media.
Wow, we only have about 2 minutes left. So you talked about it. If you're in the business world, you can get a coach, you can bring people in, but back to personal life.
It's tough.
What do you say? What do you do?
It's tough, and so many relationships are broken, Dwight. So many people are walking around with so much pain and heaviness because they simply cannot discuss it with the person that they really need to discuss it with, right? So, reach out, right?
I think it would be offended if you bring in somebody into the living room and say, "Hey, we need to bring in this guy so
particularly men.
Talk." Yeah.
Believe it or not, particularly men. I don't need nobody to tell me what to do. I know how to handle my business. You know how to handle your business. If you did, your relationship wouldn't be so broken, right?
Wow.
Relationships are tough. Period. Right. So just I just highly recommend that people reach out. It's like if your car is broken or the head in your car is broken, you ain't gonna go try to replace it yourself. You're gonna go to an expert, right? Not the spark plugs, maybe you go AID, grab some, screw them out, put the new ones in. But when it comes to something that's really broken, you reach out to to professionals, to experts that can help you try to navigate it a little better, right? So I encourage everybody out there to take an assessment. Like Jessica said, certain things you gotta want to get the ball rolling, right? Want to do better and know that there's better out there. Know that this is not normal. This is not normal. So, and I'm always available to help folks. You can follow me on TikTok, Farrell Life Coach, Instagram. Reach out to me, and my website is walkingtogetherlc.com. And I'm always available, but there's a lot of capable people out there as well, ready to help Bahamians improve and be better people.
People reacting to this strongly, saying this is a great show with Farrell today. Another one, Farrell should come on every week to help Bahamians improve their communication skills and understand the challenges of getting better. Wow. Well,
it's a lot. No, we have a lot to do, and it will help our national development, Dwight. That's why I'm committed to this. This is a labor of love. This isn't a job. This is a labor of love for me, right? We need to do better.
Yeah. And he's going to be here every fourth Thursday each month on our Better You series here on Morning Blend.
And to your listeners, if there's a particular area that they'd want us to focus on, they can just send you some ideas, and we can build a show around some of these important issues for them as well, Dwight.
Wonderful. Farrell, good to see you.
Thank you.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Always a pleasure.
In another capacity.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be back with more Morning Blend business after this break here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. On Dunkin'.
Everybody Wins Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawing live at the Vibes Cartel concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for coverage or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
Ready to dive into a thrilling career? Well, Celebration Key wants you. Join our lifeguard test on April 1st at the Betty Kelly Cannon Aquatic Center. Bring your swim gear and your A game at 9 a.m. Secure your spot today. Visit CelebrationKeyGrandBahama.com for the registration link. Make a splash with us and show off your lifeguard skills on Monday, April 1st.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Prime Minister Philip Davis says while the Bahamas continues to adjust its financial services laws to suit the whims of global financial watchdogs, it's also fighting the inequity in the global financial system and continuing its excellence in the local financial sector. Prime Minister saying yesterday that through our advocacy, they've secured a seat at the table as part of the Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee on the United Nations Framework Convention on International Tax Cooperation, saying, quote, "We will play an active role in shaping protocols to ensure that global changes are developed and administered." SuperValue President and Chief Financial Officer Deborah Simonet says the food store chain is prepared for the coming lower VAT on food items, as announced by Prime Minister Davis in January. Simonet says they're in the process of preparing the point-of-sale systems for the reduction in VAT from 10% to 5% on edible items. She says this involves ensuring that each item in the system is flagged correctly. She noted that the labels on items on the shelves also have to be changed if they fall into the edible category. You can read more on the story in today's Guardian business section. And the Nassau Cruise Port says that it will collaborate with the Straw Market Authority to market authentically Bahamian-made products by straw market vendors. The NCP says the initiative is called Rooted in Tradition, Made in the Bahamas. The initiative is designed to spotlight and promote diverse, vibrant, and unique products sold by local artisans at the from the world-famous straw market. And a statement from NCP saying that the pioneering project seeks to celebrate the rich history of Bahamian craftsmanship and artistry, showcasing the creativity, skill, and heritage embedded in every product sold at the straw market. Overseas, U.S. President Donald Trump says he's placing 25% tariffs on auto imports, a move the White House claims could foster domestic manufacturing, but could also put a financial squeeze on automakers that depend on global supply chains. Trump telling reporters Wednesday, quote, "This will continue to spur growth. We will effectively be charging a 25% tariff." Those tariffs, which the White House expects to raise $100 billion in revenue annually, could be complicated as even U.S. automakers source their components from around the world. The tax hike starting in April lower sales, though Trump argues that the tariffs will lead to more factories opening in the United States and the end of what he calls and what he judges to be a, quote, ridiculous supply chain in which auto parts and finished vehicles are manufactured across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. To underscore the seriousness of the tariffs, Trump says that this is permanent. In your Market Watch recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday, your market movers, Bahamas Waste moving 71,023 shares, down 48 cents, closing at 940. Consolidated Water down 1 cent, closing at $4.85, and Emera Incorporated down 2 cents, closing at $10.04. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 3,026.55, down 0.50. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Chester Robards, before we go, really quickly, there's an article in the Tribune today, and you wrote about this, I believe, a few days ago, that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio would be traveling to the Caribbean. He met with officials in Jamaica yesterday. So the article says that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio renewed his criticism of Cuba's overseas medical missions during a visit to Jamaica yesterday. During a joint press conference in Kingston with Jamaica's Prime Minister, Rubio said about the Cuban mission program, quote, "How it's operated around the world is that basically the doctors are not paid. In many other parts of the world, the doctors are not paid. The doctor, you pay the Cuban government how much of anything to give them. They take away their passports. They basically operate as forced labor in many places." The remarks coming amid U.S. pressure on countries that engage Cuban professionals under state-to-state agreements, with Rubio warning that the Cuban regime's practices place these people in tremendous danger. Those are his words. Although Rubio said the allegations may not apply to doctors working in Jamaica, his broader comments revive a debate already unfolding throughout the region, where Cuban medical professionals continue to fill critical roles in the public health system. Now, at that press conference, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness responded, defending his country's sovereign right to engage international partners in the national interest. Without naming Cuba, he said foreign personnel working in Jamaica are protected by domestic labor laws and treated fairly. Of course, we've heard Caribbean leaders defending their cooperation with Cuba as a matter of necessity rather than ideology, particularly in sectors such as health and education, where skilled professionals are in short supply. Interesting stuff. It doesn't seem like this is going to be letting up anytime soon, this debate and what's going to happen there. I don't see anything in the article about the threat to visas for government officials across the region. But I'm sure the discussions will continue this week as he has a couple other countries to visit. Yeah, interesting stuff. Chester, I thank you very much for being here this morning on a Thursday.
No problem.
And thank you to Laverne, who is enjoying her vacation. Hopefully we'll talk with her soon. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.